When we walked into the lawyer's office together, Danny said, "I don't want anything." There'd been no prenup, but I said he had to take something, so I forced him to take a little bit of money. Danny was amazing like that. He never did anything to betray me. He's always, always been there for me. He literally filed divorce papers so that I could go marry Michael. We were best friends. We shared every single family vacation together. Riley and Ben never saw anything bad between us. We made it really great for them.
We called Michael Mimi because my brother couldn't pronounce his name. Michael was larger than life. He reminded her of her father. She told me that no one ever came close to being like her dad apart from Michael. At first, we had no idea if they were in a romantic relationship or if this was just a friend she was bringing around. I like to joke that she was always really good at introducing her kids to the various husbands. With Mimi, as with others, we would hang out and do activities together long before she would ever tell us that they were in a relationship. I don't remember the moment she told me they were getting married, but I do recall he started sleeping over. When he would come over, her whole world would stop. The front gate would buzz, and a voice would say, "MJ is here." The drive from the gate to our house was about 6 minutes. In that time, my mom would be scurrying around to fix her lips and put her makeup on. He would come into our kitchen via the back door. Typically, the kitchen counter was covered in piles of NDAs and tabloids that her assistants would lay out for her. OK, Star, National Enquirer, Globe. So my mom could read all the cover stories about herself. But when Michael came to visit, she didn't leave the magazines out or ask him to sign an NDA. He was probably the only exception. Michael and my mother were quickly a very big deal. When significant things were happening in our lives, things that would make the press go crazy, she would take us out of school. We had to stay home until it blew over a little. Once we were back in school, we had security outside all day. And if I went to a sleepover at a friend's house, security would sit outside all night there too. My mom was really affected by what people wrote about her. She had no siblings to share the burden. Nobody who understood what it truly felt like. In a way, she was the princess of America and didn't want to be. Her reluctance only made the chase more interesting for the press. There were photographers and trees. My dad was always pushing or fighting some paparazzo. She genuinely tried her whole life to get away from it, and yet she paradoxically fell in love with Michael Jackson. Once Michael came into our lives, the fame grew exponentially. I don't think anyone fully anticipated the scale of it. My mother certainly didn't. She rarely thought about consequences. Michael and my mom got married in the Dominican Republic 20 days after her divorce from my father. She told Playboy magazine later that she didn't even tell her mom about it until Priscilla called her and said, "There are helicopters flying over my house driving me crazy. They're saying that you married Michael Jackson." My mom just said, "Yep, I did."
I was actually so happy. I've never been that happy again. We got married in the Dominican Republic on the DL. There were 2 witnesses. And then it was just the 2 of us, alone. We'd run from rented house to rented house. We'd get into so much trouble. Sometimes he'd call for his main security guy to come hang out with us, but we would end up ditching him because we just wanted to be on our own, to the point where we'd wander into dangerous areas that we shouldn't have been in. But we just wanted to be alone, to be normal, anonymous. I'd do his laundry and we'd do errands together and shop. For our honeymoon, we rented a quaint little house in the gay neighborhood of Orlando, and we'd walk around and look at real estate and go to Disney World every other day. He wasn't doing any drugs at that point. We were up all night, talking sober. Michael was an amazing conversationalist. He was someone who never wanted to talk about himself, hated it, in fact, so he would always divert. He was super interested in people and could really lift them up. He would do anything he could to turn a conversation back to you and what you were doing. He'd be deeply fascinated by everything you had to say about what you did. There was an energy there, something about him that was truly remarkable, something that I've never, ever seen or felt in my entire life, other than with my dad. I feel really, really lucky that he let me in. I fell in love with him because he was normal, just fucking normal. His normal was a side that no one saw. His mom would say, "He told you that stuff?" And Janet would say, "I have never heard him talk about anything like that." I wish that he would show that side more. He didn't really talk to his brothers much at that point, and I think they were surprised that our relationship was legit, but they thought it was really cool.